Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a graveyard. This graveyard has quite a few features. A few of them include not one, but two mausoleums. We also have a few varieties of graves, including different kinds of markers. We also have this form-fitting fountain, a wonderfully styled entrance, and this pretty creepy tree in the backdrop of the graveyard. Now, you can choose to build the graveyard alone, but what I would do is build it next to this church. If you haven't built this church yet, or if you just don't have a church in general, feel free to check out the card system and the description below, because I believe these two builds go hand in hand. It's not necessary that you build them both together, it's just that if you don't have a church, I'd definitely build this one and then just use both of them as one big giant build. You can find the church in both the card system and the description below without too much trouble. I not only show you how to make the outside of the church, but I also show you how to make the inside of the church as well. But that is way more than enough talking. Why don't I show you how to make this lovely spooky graveyard? So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some polished andesite, some cobblestone walls, some mossy cobblestone walls, some stone slabs, some buttons, some iron bars, some cobblestone stairs, some stone brick stairs, and some cobblestone. Plus, we'll need all of the other materials that you might be able to see in the inventory right now. Plus, more than likely, we'll need some more that we don't have right there because I am quite forgetful. So once you have each one of those materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I have it marked out where I want to make it because I want to make it specific in relation to the church. I want it to be specifically placed in relation to where the church is. So I'm going to begin mine here, but what you want to do is you want to begin with this sequence of blocks in a row on the floor, and you want to repeat this same sequence in total 5 times, guys. You want to do 1 polished andesite, then 3 cobblestone wall, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. You want to do that 5 times, so that's the first time, then 1 polished andesite, 3 cobblestone wall, that's 2, 1 polished andesite, 3 cobblestone wall, that's 3, 1 polished andesite, 3 cobblestone wall, that's 4, and then 1 polished andesite, 3 cobblestone wall, that's 5, and finish this off by placing an additional polished andesite, just like that. So you want to have in total 5 repetitions of that same first pattern. So now coming behind this polished andesite, we want to do a very similar pattern, except this time we want to do it 6 times instead of 5. And that is, we want to do 3 cobblestone wall, 1, 2, 3, 1 andesite. So that is the pattern. Let's do it 5 more times. We want it 6 times in total. So that's 1, then 1, 2, 3 wall, 1 andesite, that's 2, 1, 2, 3 wall, 1 andesite, that's 3, 1, 2, 3 wall, 1 andesite, that's 4, 1, 2, 3 wall, 1 andesite, that's 5, 1, 2, 3 wall, 1 andesite, that is 6. So we want to have something which should look like this. It's like an L shape. Well, what we now want to do is we want to come across from this last andesite that we placed, and we want to repeat that pattern again. We want to keep doing that pattern. We want to do 3 wall, 1 andesite, 3 wall, 1 andesite, and we want to keep doing it until we find that we have lined up with the start of the build. It's the exact same thing that we did at the start, so if you want, you can just count it out. You'll just do 5 repetitions of the pattern. But once you have found that you've lined up with the start of the build, you can then repeat that pattern again, and you will connect to the front of the build using the pattern, and you'll end up with something that'll look like that. So you'll have a big, giant, rectangular shape like this. Now, once you've done that, this is what we want to do next. On top of each one of those andesites, we want to stack an additional andesite. Yeah, bit boring, but this is what we've got to do. We want to go all the way around on top of the andesites and place just another andesite directly on top. And once we've done that to our andesites, we're going to work on the entrance, because I think that that's the next best thing to do. So once you have all of the andesites stacked up, figure out where the front of your graveyard is going to be. Mine's right at the front here. This is the side that we started on, and it is this middle section, so it should have 2 either side of it. So I want to take this left-hand set of andesite that I have here, and on top of this andesite, what I want to do is I want to place an additional andesite, do 2 upright diagonals, 1, 2, then 2 bottom right diagonals, and I should form a nice little gate. Pretty easy. Well, once you've done that, we now want to make it a bit more interesting. So we want to take the bottom andesites on either side, and we want to place an upside down cobblestone stair in front of them. We then want to place cobblestone wall on top of those. We then want to place opposite facing cobblestone stairs on top of the cobblestone wall. We then want to place in front of the 2 diagonal andesites cobblestone stairs, once again facing the same direction, opposing each other. We then need an additional material in the form of a redstone lamp, and we want to place it in between the 2. We then want to place a cobblestone wall on top of that lamp, and we want to place, we don't have the block unfortunately, but we need cobblestone slabs. I told you I'd forget material. And we want to place cobblestone slabs on top of each one of the back polished andesites, like this. So this is what you want to have. Destroy the very center bottom cobblestone wall block, place iron bars on top of those walls, and find a way to light that redstone lamp. I'm just going to use a lever, or a lever, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to place it just behind, and I'm going to have it lit up. And that is the entrance. Nice, easy, spooky looking, not too difficult whatsoever. Now, once you've done that, we're going to decorate the walls that we've made. So I'm going to place iron bars on top of each one of the cobblestone walls. So I'm going to place iron bars on top of the cobblestone walls, connecting each one of the andesites together. And I'm then going to place buttons on the upper andesites. And I'm also going to place stone slabs on top of the andesites. And this is just going to make the wall look a little bit nicer. It adds a fair amount of detail, even though the buttons aren't that easy to see. But I figure that the wall is actually quite important here in this graveyard. Otherwise, I would have just kept a pretty boring looking cobblestone wall, but I think that the wall is definitely the first thing that draws you into this graveyard before you can see anything else. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. You can see me placing all of the buttons, and now I'm just going to place stone slabs on top of the andesite. And once all of that's done, we can then move on to the actual graveyard itself. We can start figuring out where some of the marks of the graveyard are going to be, like the mausoleums, you know, the little buildings that the bodies are placed in. And we'll also do the fountain, and we'll also do the graves and all of that fun stuff. So, fun stuff might be an inappropriate term, but that is what we want to have for our graveyard, ladies and gentlemen. Well, once you have that, what we're now going to do is, like I said, we're going to build some of the features of this graveyard. So I think that we will begin with the mausoleum. Yeah, that's where we're going to begin. So I'm going to have 2 mausoleums. I'm going to have one in this back left-hand corner and one in the front right-hand corner. We'll begin with the back left-hand corner one. So the back left-hand corner one is situated 1 row in diagonally from the very back left-hand corner andesite. So right here. I'm then going to take that andesite and I'm going to extend it to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to take that third andesite and extend it towards me by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to extend it to the left by 2 with the stone brick stairs. 1, 2. Then 1 with the polished andesite. I'm going to connect it backwards and I'm going to fill the center of it in with polished andesite. I'm then going to place some cobblestone wall on top of the front 2 corners of the little mausoleum. I'm also going to place stone bricks, which is another material that I haven't got yet. I'm going to place stone bricks on top of that. Wonderful. Then, leaving a gap of 1 between what we've just constructed, we then want to place 2 polished andesite coming out from either end of the left and right row, of that row, 1 row behind what we've just made, and we also want to have 1, 2, and 1, 2 polished andesite coming up from the back corner of the mausoleum. We also, for the walls, want to place stone brick stairs, regular facing and upside down ones, like this. So on the bottom we want regular facing, and on the top we want upside down stone brick stairs to give a bit of depth and a bit of interest to the actual mausoleum build itself. Then we want to place a row of stone brick stairs on the left hand side, the back, and on the right hand side of the build, kind of like in this formation like that. We also want to place a row of stone brick stairs that pokes out one row in front of what we've just made, so it wants to extend out one row. We then want to take out our stone brick slabs, and we want to do a row of slabs right on the front of the mausoleum like this. And we also want to place stone slabs for the roof, so we want to fill the roof in with the stone slabs. It'll end up looking a little something like this. Now, once you've got that sorted, the last couple of features you may want to add are some banners and some iron doors. Now, I'm just going to place some iron doors in here. I don't actually want to access this, but you can if you like. If you want, you can have a way to actually enter and leave the little mausoleum. Maybe you want to leave some chests in there or something like that. I don't want to, so I'm not going to bother. And I'm going to place a red banner left and right of the doors just to spruce it up a little bit. Now, that's the first one complete. The second one is identical. It is in the front right-hand corner. It's situated in the exact same way, and by that I mean like in the front right hand corner. If we find the front right hand corner andesite and we move in by 2 diagonally, the mausoleum begins here, so we'll place an andesite, we'll move it left by 3, 1, 2, 3, we will then add a row of 5 in front of this 4th andesite. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to move right by 2 of the stone brick stairs, 1 the polished andesite, and move it backwards until we hit the back wall. We're going to fill the center of this in with polished andesite. We're going to place a cobblestone wall on the front 2 corners of this. We're then going to place a stone bricks on top of the cobblestone wall. We're then going to leave a row of 1, and then on the very left and right of this row, we're going to have 2 polished andesite coming up. And on the back corner as well, 1, 2, and 1, 2, like this. We're then going to fill the walls in the same way. It's going to be regular stone brick stairs facing outwards for the bottom, and it's going to be upside down stone brick stairs around the top, like that. Then we're going to add a row of stone brick stairs here on the left, here on the right, on the back too, and then we're going to do a row in the front of the mausoleum as well. So we're just going to add an additional row. And then going to place a row of stone brick slabs, like this. And then I'm going to do stone slabs to fill in the roof. So we're just going to fill in the roof like this. Then I'm going to grab some iron doors, and I'm going to grab purple banners. I'm going to throw iron doors here, purple banners left and right, and that is the second little mausoleum. Now, once you've got both of those taken care of, well, we've got kind of like the hard bit of this tutorial complete. The next thing that we're going to do, I think, we'll do all the hard stuff first. We're going to do the fountain. So, the fountain, and we're lacking the material for this. The fountain is made up of cobblestone wall. We need some cobblestone stairs. We also need some stone slabs. Also, we need to have some water as well. So, what we're going to do is from the front left-hand corner of the graveyard itself, we're going to move in diagonally. It's always diagonally from the corner. And we're going to find the second block and we'll place a cobblestone wall. Then, moving towards the back of the build, we want a row of 3 cobblestone stairs. That's 1, 2, 3. Then a cobblestone wall. We're going to take that cobblestone wall and we're going to move across to the opposite side of the graveyard, and we want another row of 3 stairs. 1, 2, 3. Then a wall. Moving back on ourselves, 3 cobblestone stairs, and a wall. Then connecting the cobblestone together, the cobblestone wall that is, we want to connect it together with a row of cobblestone stairs. Then I'm going to place a row of 2 cobblestone wall coming up from the very center of this, 1 and 2, like that. Then I'm going to place like a random block, like 2 stone slabs on top of each other. I then want to place upside down cobblestone stairs in front of, behind, and left and right of the 2 stone slabs that I've just placed, like that. I want to place stone slabs in between them, like this. And then I want to destroy these stone slabs right at the top here, like that. And I might even want to destroy that second wall as well. I'm going to fill the bottom of the fountain in with stone slabs, like this. So I'm just going to fill this in with stone slabs if I can. It's kind of tricky. And I also... Why did I destroy that second cobblestone wall? Well, anyway... Oh, that's why, because I wanted to replace it with a stone slab. So I'm just going to replace that cobblestone wall there. And now I'm just going to place a water bucket right here, right at the top center of the fountain. And there we go. We have a pretty cool looking fountain. Now that we have the fountain taken care of, it's probably time to do something a little bit morbid. We should probably take care of these graves. So to make the graves, we need like mossy cobblestone wall, we need regular cobblestone wall, we need some stone brick stairs, some cobblestone stairs, we need some soul sand. We also need some another material that we don't have. We need buttons, but we also need chiseled sandstone. If not chiseled sandstone, chiseled stone brick. If I can find it, where is it? There we go. Silverfish chiseled stone brick is completely fine, as long as you don't mind spawning some fish every now and again. I'm now going to grab some signs, and I'm going to head to the very back of the graveyard. So where we have the back right-hand corner of the mausoleum here, I'm going to leave a gap of 3 in the ground, that's 1, 2, and 3, and on top of this 4th block, I want to place a polished andesite, which is a material that I didn't grab. I want to place polished andesite. On top of that andesite, I want to do a row of 3 cobblestone. I want to do a row of 4 cobblestone wall. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I want to take that 3rd block and extend it left and right by 1. Then I'm going to place a sign in the center of the little cross that we've made, and it'll just say something along the lines of RIP or whatever it is that you want it to say. Then I'd make it say it. I'm going to place a button in front of the andesite at the bottom. I'm going to extend out in front of the andesite by 2 in the ground, and I'm going to place soul sand inside of the 2 destroyed blocks. And that is how each one of these more fancier graves look. We're also going to build another one of these. It's actually 3 rows away to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, leave a gap of 3. Then we want to place an andesite on the ground, and then a row of 2 mossy cobblestone wall, 1, 2. Then we want to place a chiseled stone brick with another cobblestone wall on top. Then extend that left and right by 1, the chiseled brick that is, with a button in the center of it. And also 1 coming out of the bottom of the andesite. I'm also going to destroy out in front of this grave as well by 2 blocks and place soul sand inside of that. There we go. Perfect. Now, once that's taken care of, we now want to add some more graves. The easiest way to do this, I suppose, is to come to the mausoleum again, and I'm going to grab some stone slabs, and coming out from the center of the mausoleum where we have the stone bricks, we want to knock out 4 rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming out from the center of the mausoleum, and we want to fill the center of this in with stone slabs, like that. I'm then going to take these 2 center slabs in the center on the right, and I'm going to leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in this 4th row, these 2 center blocks, I want to place 2 opposing cobblestone stairs like this as a grave marker, and then I'm going to destroy 2 blocks in front of each one of those stairs, and that is going to be a grave. Then leaving a gap of 3 coming down, so leaving a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3. So on this 4th block, we want the same thing. So we want to have the headstone in a similar place in this sort of position, and then we want to have the 2 blocks destroyed out front like this. We also, whilst we're at it, we also want another grave just behind the fountain here. It's actually in line with this path. So where we have the 2 stone slabs, we actually want to leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and moving backwards, we then want to destroy 2 rows of 2 in the ground. We want to place some soul sand in there, and then we want to place behind that 2 opposing cobblestone stairs, like this. And that is what you want to have so far. Now we have a few graves. Now, once those graves are taken care of, we do have just 2 more to do. And to find these, you can come to the front mausoleum, the one in the front right-hand corner of the graveyard. And we want to come to the back left-hand corner, and leaving a gap of 3 in the ground, that's 1, 2, and 3. So on this 4th block, we want to place 2 opposing cobblestone stairs, and destroy 2 rows in front. Place soul sand in them. Then, leaving a gap of 3, moving towards the back of the graveyard, we want to, once again, leave a gap of 3. And then we want to do the same thing with, let's say, stone brick stairs. So I've actually messed up there a little bit. That's 1, 2, 3. So on this 4th block, there we go, stone brick stairs. And then I want to do soul sand in front of these, like that. So what we want to have in total, so far, should look like this. And that is perfectly fine. Now, once that's taken care of, what we should probably do here is we should start linking up the graveyard with a path. So I'm going to make a path. It's going to begin right here at the entrance, and it's going to begin with a cobblestone. It's going to be cobblestone, this path is, and it is going to move forward, and it's going to move forward in a straight line until we are 1 row away from this grave. So the first grave that you meet wants to come backwards until it's 1 row away. Then it wants to move right until it is in the center of these 2 graves that you have. It wants to be 2 blocks away from each one of these graves. Then it wants to move backwards until it is 1 row away from the graves that you have at the very back. So it wants to have a shape which should look like that. You don't really want to trample any graves or anything, so you want to keep it like this. But then we also want it to just come left of the mausoleum at the front, and it wants to come as far back as the grave there. We also want to take the path and we want to split it in half so that we can explore the graves on the right and so that we can explore the mausoleum in the back left-hand corner. So we want to create kind of like a cross shape like this. Is it making sense where this path is going? We also want to split it at the back as well. So it wants to split so that you can explore the graves, and it wants to come back as far as the grave that you have here on the left, just in front of the mausoleum. It wants to stay 2 blocks away from it, and it also wants to come all the way over to the right, leaving a gap of 1 from the actual cobblestone wall on the right, but so that you can actually explore the graveyard. And that's what you want to have, guys, and that is all of the technical stuff of the graveyard complete. Everything else is now about decoration. So I'm just going to grab some dark oak saplings, some bone meal, and I'm going to grab some poppies, because these are the only things that I want to use. I don't really want to use a variety of flowers and stuff to decorate this place, because I think it's a little bit inappropriate, really, for a graveyard to have loads and loads of different coloured flowers. Or maybe it's not. I mean, I just think that's not the vibe I really want with my graveyard, basically. But you know what, thinking about it, there's nothing wrong with decorating it with loads and loads of different coloured flowers, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a really, really sad place. It can be a nice place to remember all of the people that may possibly be in these graves. So I suppose it kind of depends what sort of vibe you're going for. In this back right hand corner, I'm going to place a dark oak tree. So dark oak trees, you need 4 dark oak saplings in a row like that, and you need to just build them all up with bone meal. I don't know if you actually have to build them all up equally, but there we go. We have a nice dark oak tree. I kind of like the vibe that it gives off in this graveyard. It's a bit spooky. I'm also going to add flowers. I'm going to add flowers left and right of each one of the graves. So just like in rows of 3, I'm going to have flowers left and right of each one of the graves. This might take a second or 2 to do, but I like the idea of somebody, I guess it's kind of implied that somebody left flowers at these graves, because I kind of like that idea a little bit better. I'm also going to do the same thing for the graves at the back, the more unique graves, which you can add more of, by the way, if you like. I'm also going to add flowers here, next to the path of the mausoleum. And thinking about it, I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, I'm also going to do a path that leads from the front mausoleum and connects to the cobblestone path. And I'll also do a similar thing with the poppies left and right of the actual walkway. And you can see that by doing this, we've kind of made it a little bit nicer. We've made it a little bit brighter. And if you kind of want to tone things back down a little bit, you can add some shrubs about the place if you kind of want to increase the creepiness factor. If you want to turn this from kind of like this sort of graveyard into a bit more of like a really creepy dark graveyard, I would break a lot of what you have. Like, I'd break a lot of the wall, I'd add a lot more shrubs, I'd add some cobwebs, I'd add some pumpkins, I'd add a couple of like skeleton skulls and stuff around the place, and you could easily turn this into a creepy graveyard. But mine's in my city, I don't really want that. I'm also going to add a row of flowers that goes all the way around in front of the graveyard. So just kind of like bordering the graveyard, going all the way around. I want a layer of flowers, just because I think that will make it look nice. And once again, like I said, this is being built in my city. However, if it was being built in like a creepy survival town, or like behind a house, or you know, somewhere that demanded a creepy graveyard, I would break it and I would add all sorts of other things. Maybe I'll do a separate version of graveyard. Maybe I'll have like a spooky graveyard, that would have been good for Halloween, and I'll have just this nice uniform looking graveyard here. But that is the graveyard, guys. It's really nice, it's easy to make, I think it looks great. And it definitely adds to a church. If you have a church, it definitely adds to it. It makes a nice difference. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. I know a lot of you wanted it after I made my church tutorial, so I hope that you guys are happy with it. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, give it a share. I'd really appreciate it. I knew that you guys would want this as soon as I built the church, so I figured that I'd just do you guys a favor and do them hand in hand. And something that I've just considered, I don't know whether this is like a step too far, a hearse might be kind of like a good idea to add with these two builds. Maybe as a vehicle build? You'll have to let me know down there in the comments. I might actually build one anyway to put out like in front of the church or something, but I think that that'd be a cool idea to add to the graveyard or out in front of the church. Also, comment down below. Like I said, let me know what you want to see next. I hope you guys enjoyed this build, I really do. Let me know what you want to see next. Be very interested to see what I should add to my city and what you should add to yours. Follow me on Twitter at TSMC360 if you make this graveyard or the church or both, or if you do your own thing, or if you just have pictures you want to send me. Follow me on Twitter at TSMC360. Subscribe for more, because not only do we make churches and graveyards, but as you might be able to see, this city is actually building up to be kinda cool. I mean, we have a church, we have a graveyard, we have a chip shop, we have a pet shop, we have a Wendy's, we have 2 townhouses there, we have a Domino's Pizza, a barber shop, we have a cafe, supermarket, train station, 2 trains, we have the beginnings of a theme park over there, we have an entire actual park. If you enjoy any of these, subscribe and check out the card system and the description below, and you'll find loads and loads of playlists that will show you how to make all of this stuff and even more, because it turns out that I'm a little bit stupid, and when I started doing city builds like years ago, I didn't actually build them in a city. I've only recently started doing them now, so I wish that I would have started doing it a long time ago and this city would look a lot more impressive. But if you want to check any of that out, that's the card system and the description below. I think that that's probably more than enough talking, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you appreciate the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.